It's no secret that the only way to get better at darts is by practicing. So in this one, I'm going to give you 6 tips that you can implement into your practice that will help you get better at darts. So stick around for that, guys. But first, if you are not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. Drop the video a thumbs up. The more Bullshot Darts you watch, the more 180s you will hit. So we are just going to get right into this video here. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is to make sure that you're getting a warm-up in before your practice session. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because I did upload a 20-minute warm-up video that you can go back and check out. And in there I talk about the benefits of warming up. But basically, to throw your best darts in practice, you have to make sure your body is warm. Your first 5 minutes of throwing, you're never going to throw your best darts because, well, your body's just not warmed up. You might be a little stiff or whatever. So make sure you're getting in at least a couple minutes of warm-up before you actually dive into your practice session, because that'll make sure that you will be able to throw good darts, that your body is ready to throw good darts. All right, the next thing here is that you have to make sure your practices are well-rounded. You are a product of what you practice. I am a perfect example of this because I practice scoring a lot, and my scoring is definitely better than my doubles. So I need to work on that myself by making sure I work on my outs more. But like I was saying, you have to make sure it's well-rounded. You need to work on your scoring to make sure you're scoring to get down to those doubles. Then, of course, you have to be working on your outs to make sure that you are hitting your outs once you get down there. And I'm going to talk about more outs in a second here. Actually, right here with the number 3 tip is make sure that you are practicing with a purpose. So to build on what I was saying about outs and doubles is that let's pretend you want to work on your double 20. I always recommend working on your 40 out as opposed to your double 20. The reason why is because if you're in a game and you throw and hit low on that double 20, you're not going to be throwing at that double 20 again. So to continue throwing at that double 20, to me, is just pointless, because never in a game can you hit a single 20 when you have 40 left and keep throwing at that 20. So that helps me, because I don't like just target practicing on the dartboard when I work on my doubles. I like to take out actual outs because it's more like a game time situation. So just make sure there's always a purpose to your practice. So whatever it is that you want to practice, make sure there's purpose to it. Now, of course, if you just go to your dartboard and throw mindlessly for 10 or 15 minutes, you will get benefit from it, but having a solid purpose before you go to the practice line will help you a lot. All right, next here. I can't read my own handwriting. You have to put pressure on yourself in your practice. Now, this might be hard because you are not playing against someone if you're practicing at your house alone. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. One, you can play practice games against a computer. So if you have Dart Connect, you can play against the practice bot on there. Other ways you could do this would be doing practice games that put pressure on you. So, for example, there's a practice game called 170, and the premise is simple. You get 170, take it out. Now, there's many different ways that you can play this, but my favorite way to play it is by putting a limit of number on the darts I can throw. So for me, when I play 170, I'll give myself 6 darts to take it out. So, yes, it's practice, but it's still putting a little bit of pressure on the game. Now, if I just went and played 170 and kept throwing until I hit a double, that's really not too much pressure because I don't have that set dart limit. So you can play practice games that put a little bit of pressure on you. And then lastly here, now this one might sound a little silly, but this is seriously one of my favorite things to do when I practice. And that is to pretend that you are playing matches against someone. So you can step up to the line and pretend like, all right, I'm tied 5-5 in a race to 6. You know, at this tournament finals playing against this person, and I have 76 left. I approach the line, I put that pressure on myself, and it just makes it that much more fun, because even though it's just your imagination, eventually you're going to be in a situation where you're playing against someone and you have 76 left and you have pressure to hit that. Now you can go back and think like, oh, that's nothing. I did that at home, because in my mind, I played out this exact scenario. So there's no pressure on this shot right now. Well, there probably will be pressure on it, but you've practiced the pressure shot to make sure that you are prepared to hit that in competition. So use your imagination. That's one of my favorite things. Whenever I practice outs, I always like to have some kind of imagination. Now, it's not always that in detail, but I'll always pretend that I'm at least in a game and that I have to take this out, you know, to further myself in the tournament or whatever it might be. Or, you know, I'll pretend I'm in like the World Championship finals, you know, finals, sudden and death leg, stuff like that. It's just a fun thing to do. And also that helps me get into my practice session on a more mental side, because in a tournament, I'm not like a super intense player, but I do get into it and I get into my zone, and I'm not like an obnoxious cheerer, but, you know, I'll like, you know, do a fist or, you know, talk to myself or whatever it might be. And then I find myself doing those things in my practice session. And, you know, that just makes it more fun. My practice sessions will last longer if I'm having fun. So use your imagination. There's a lot of things you can do with your imagination in darts. Next, number 5, clothes. You should be wearing the clothes that you normally wear out at darts when you practice. And it's funny, you know, you guys see me sitting here in a sweater. What's funny is that I actually do throw darts in a sweater when I go out. I had multiple people comment on it last time I was at a tournament. But, you know, for the most part, when I practice at home, I'm wearing my pajamas, I'm barefoot. So I don't do this as much. Lately, I have been, because I've been doing more practicing at work, because I put up a dartboard in the office. So on my lunch break, I'm able to get in there and throw a little bit. And of course, you know, I got my shoes on and everything there. So, you know, that's more like an actual going out and playing darts outfit. But at home, like if there's a tournament coming up, I'll usually throw on my shoes and throw at them a little bit at home just to get used to it and stuff. So just another thing to think about is what you are wearing when you throw. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about here is you want to have distractions while you are practicing at home. Now, depending your home situation, you might have kids yelling, which would be awesome. That would be a great distraction. TV's going, music going, whatever it is. But I highly don't recommend throwing in like complete silence in a very easy environment to throw darts, because you are never going to be at a tournament hall that's quiet, where you're able to just like block everything out. Even if you put earplugs in, a lot of that noise is still going to cut through. And that is just one thing that you're really going to have to get used to when you are out throwing darts. I still struggle with this sometimes, depending on how much I'm in the zone. But all it takes is like a small little conversation that I might hear a couple words from down the dart hall. And then before you know it, I'm thinking about that, like, oh, I hear these people, as opposed to like, oh, I'm going to hit this triple or double or whatever it might be. So just make sure you have some kind of distractions while you're playing at home. I love talking to my girlfriend while I'm practicing, because it just helps me, you know, throw in different circumstances. Now, there are some times where I'll ask her, like, hey, like, I'm going to get in a practice session, like, please just give me like 20 minutes. But even then, I'll put on some music, because now I have music playing. So that's it, guys. Let's get in one more darts throw here. You got to make sure you're practicing, and implementing these 6 things into your practice session will help you throw better darts in general. Ooh, let's end this video with the 180. Scoring has been good lately. Doubles, not so much. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Some videos should have popped up over here. Make sure you go check out my warm-up video if you haven't watched that. You can put that on before your practice session just to get in a good warm-up. And then, yeah, make sure you can get the most out of your practice session. That's it for this one, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. BullshotDarts.com to grab your new favorite dart shirt. I'll see you all in the next one, and shoot well.